Welcome to this explainer on Antarctica's hidden depths and alien blueprint. Today, we're going to peel back the literal layers of ice to reveal a subglacial world that, honestly, defies almost everything we thought we knew about our own planet. Let's kick things off with a pretty provocative question to anchor our journey. What is actually hiding beneath the most isolated, desolate, and freezing environment on Earth? Because what researchers are finding down there, it's absolutely mind-bending. Section 1. Myths of the Frozen South. Okay, before we dive into the incredible science, we first need to clear the air about what people merely think is down there. Right? So we've all seen the wild internet conspiracies. Stories of secret World War II bases, buried ancient pyramids, a giant shape-shifting octopus dubbed Organism 46b, or the whole idea that Antarctica is just some impenetrable ice wall holding in a flat Earth. In reality, these are pure fiction. For instance, those supposed ancient pyramids, they're actually just normal mountain peaks jutting right through the ice. Geologists call them nunataks. And that monster octopus? Totally made up by a tabloid writer. Section 2. A hidden subglacial world. So, with those myths completely out of the way, let's plunge beneath the ice and look at the astonishing reality mapped out by modern ice-penetrating radar and satellite gravity mapping. When we actually compare the empty white surface to this subglacial reality, it's just staggering. From the sky, you're looking at a desolate, flat white desert of ice that averages about 1.3 miles thick. But underneath, researchers have discovered an entirely hidden, dynamic continent. We're talking mountain ranges the size of the European Alps, trenches way deeper than the Grand Canyon, and this massive plumbing system of rivers connecting over 700 subglacial lakes. This is an entire world that's been completely shielded from the sun for up to 15 million years. To even reach this hidden world, scientists have to drill through a compressed, spongy layer between fresh snow and solid ice called firn. As snow gets squished down over thousands of years, it traps these little microscopic bubbles of the ancient atmosphere. It acts as a literal frozen time capsule, recording the climate during the Roman Empire, ancient Egypt, and even trapping volcanic ash from eruptions that happened 20,000 years ago. Section 3. Poking the ancient lakes. Now, drilling completely through miles of ice to reach those massive underground bodies of water, that presents a truly terrifying engineering challenge. Take Lake Vostok, for example. It's roughly the size of Lake Ontario, buried beneath 2 miles of solid ice. Scientists were faced with some intense suspense here. How exactly do you breach a sealed lake sitting under 350 times normal atmospheric pressure without it blowing out like a vigorously shaken soda bottle? Well, this brilliantly illustrates the sheer ingenuity of these researchers. They used a nerve-wracking, step-by-step methodology to control that blowout pressure. First, by filling the borehole with a heavy mixture of kerosene and freon, they created this massive fluid plug. Then, they carefully melted the drill tip right into the lake's surface. When it finally broke through, the intense pressure of the lake actually shot the pure water up the borehole, safely pushing those chemicals up and out of the way. Step 4, they just let that pure water freeze in the hole over a season, and then came back to extract the newly frozen, uncontaminated ice core. Section 4. Life in the dark. So when scientists finally sequenced the DNA from these pristine subglacial samples, what they found completely and totally overturned our understanding of biology. Deep beneath the ice, in absolute pitch-black darkness, they actually found life. And they didn't just find a few stray cells. DNA sequencing revealed over 3,500 unique gene sequences. We're talking about thriving microbial ecosystems that are utilizing geothermal heat from the Earth's core to survive in an environment that hasn't seen a single ray of sunlight in millions of years. What's truly astounding is the sheer variety of these extremophiles. Take Deep Lake, for example. It's 10 times saltier than the ocean, and yet haloarchaea bacteria thrive there in liquid water sitting at a brutal minus 20 degrees Celsius. Over at Taylor Glacier, ancient underground microbes produce tiny iron-rich nanospheres that literally rust when they hit the air, creating a 5-story blood-red waterfall, famous as blood falls. And down in Lake Vostok, you've got deep-sea microbes living comfortably off geothermal vents. Section 5. Blueprint for alien life. This incredible biological resilience brings us to a mind-bending realization. Antarctica isn't just an earthly marvel, it's a literal blueprint for the cosmos. Think about it. Finding complex organisms thriving in isolated, highly pressurized, freezing darkness immediately makes astrobiologists look up toward the stars. If life can adapt to this kind of extreme environment right here, the implications for the rest of the universe are absolutely massive. As researchers point out, all of this technology, the sterilized hot water drills, the contaminant-free extraction methods, it's exactly what we would use to explore icy moons and planets for alien life. We are actively beta testing the exact methodologies we're going to use to search for extraterrestrials on places like Jupiter's icy moon Europa. But it goes even further than just icy moons. This environment perfectly mimics conditions on what are known as rogue planets. These are terrestrial planets that got violently kicked out of their star systems during formation. Now they just drift completely isolated through the deep space void, traveling alone in eternal darkness and freezing cold. When we put these two environments side by side, an incredible parallel emerges. Just like Antarctica, a rogue planet could use a miles-thick ice sheet as a massive thermal blanket. That thick crust of rock-hard ice would trap heat from the planet's own metallic inner core, potentially keeping a subglacial ocean completely liquid. Down there, in extreme pressure and pitch-black deep space darkness, complex alien ecosystems could be thriving around underwater hydrothermal vents, completely oblivious to the frozen universe above them. Antarctica proves this concept isn't just science fiction. It is entirely biologically possible. Section 6. A ticking volcanic time bomb. All right, zooming back to Earth for a minute, we face a pretty sobering reality. The very geothermal heat that supports this incredible subglacial life is also threatening a massive global climate crisis. It turns out West Antarctica sits directly on top of an incredibly active volcanic rift system. Scientists have mapped over 100 buried volcanoes hiding under the ice. This makes it quite possibly the largest volcanic region on planet Earth, and these hidden volcanoes are dangerously interacting with the massive ice sheet right above them. And guys, here is where it gets truly terrifying. We're looking at a deeply dangerous ice volcano feedback loop. As a warming ocean melts the ice sheet from below over those first 10 years, the total mass of the ice is reduced. By year 50, this actually decreases the physical pressure on the Earth's bedrock. Removing that heavy ice pressure triggers the subglacial volcanoes to erupt much more frequently. And then, the hot magma just melts even more ice from the bottom up, severely accelerating this entire melt cycle. So the absolute crucial point is this number right here, 5 meters. If this volcanic feedback loop triggers the total collapse of the already precarious West Antarctic ice sheet, it could lock in a devastating 5 meters. That's over 16 feet of global sea level rise. We've actually seen evidence of this happening hundreds of thousands of years ago, hidden in octopus DNA lineages, and it could happen again much sooner than climate models previously predicted. So as we wrap up this explainer, let's look at our main takeaways from the subglacial reality. We didn't find the internet myths of UFOs or Atlantis. Instead, we found something so much better, an ancient biological marvel where microbes thrive in absolute, pressurized dark. We found a literal blueprint that astrobiologists will use to hunt for aliens. And unfortunately, we found a very real, very urgent volcanic climate time bomb ticking under the ice. Which leaves us with a profound and urgent final thought to ponder today. We are just now unlocking the secrets of Earth's ultimate ice shield, learning how it might help us find life among the stars. But with volcanic feedback loops and a warming ocean, are we running out of time? Will our own changing planet melt this 15-million-year-old time capsule before we ever truly understand the deeply alien world sitting right here on Earth? Thank you so much for joining me for this explainer. Keep questioning, keep exploring, and I'll catch you next time.